Since our ancestors smeared clay on the walls of their caves, we've strived to capture the elements and bring them into our daily lives. The progress from the simple clays of prehistoric times to today's spectrum of synthetic colors provided the inspiration for this year's color forecast. Throughout history, the rich colors produced by natural pigments such as malachite and lapis, and from dyes like cochineal and murex, have been revered like gold. Blood was spilled for centuries to provide the deepest purples and reddest reds for the ruling classes. We might in fact say that in ancient times, color was very simply to die for. The classic Greek elements earth, water, fire, and air originated in 5th century BC, when Greek philosophers paralleled nature's patterns with the creative arts. Those elements also factored strongly in this year's forecast. We see the continued shift to earthier, more complex colors, ones with a variation in texture or hue. This also includes colors that change subtly depending on the ambient light or luster versus a primary color with a flat finish. Let's take a look at the 2009 colors in the context of the classical elements. Earth. From birth to life to death and finally to rebirth. Earth provides the solid, stable home for humanity. Peat is a deposit of loamy, fertile organic matter found in swampy bogs and moors. This deep earth color reflects that richness. Tea is a readily available dyestuff with good light-fast properties. It is often used on fabrics to bestow an antique, aged coloration, from warm tans to copper browns. The walnut tree, with its hard wood and tight grain, is prized by furniture makers. The husks of the walnut provide dye shades of cool brown and chocolate. This cool, neutral-colored plant is native to the southern United States and was originally thought to live on air. An early environmentally sensitive material, Spanish moss was once used to stuff mattresses. Chromium is a metallic element discovered in 1797. Mixed with other pigments, it provides a means to reproduce color. This blue-green has a strong aged patina for a color that can withstand the elements of time. An aromatic plant with clusters of bright yellow flowers, tansy was used in the summer as a fly repellent. When its chopped stems and leaves are used to create a dye, this rich shade is the result. Nettle is most commonly known as the stinging nettle. This plant has many uses, from medicinal to culinary, and as a dye produces this pale green shade. The common herb basil originated in Africa and Asia and was one of the herbs Alexander the Great brought to Greece in 350 BC. When used as a dye, the outcome can be unpredictable. Water. Since fish crawled out of the ocean onto land, water has been the sustaining nutrient for all forms of life. Carved by glaciers, a fjord is a deep, narrow inlet of the sea found in Scandinavia. This clear blue color provides a clean sparkle when combined with colors from fire and earth elements. Agave is found in the southern and western United States, as well as in Central America. The pale green border of its bicolored leaves create a fresh complement to any eco-conscious interior. The blue pigment of the woad plant is similar in content to that of indigo, but less concentrated. It thrived in Northern Europe and was cultivated in Britain and Germany during medieval times. Alkanet is related to the borage family and grows in southern France. Its blue-green foliage with light blue flowers is deceiving. Its roots provide a dye that is often used to enhance the color of port wines. Blue is a rare color in nature. It has held great value since the 7th century BC. A Mesopotamian tablet contained the recipe for dyeing with indigo leaves to produce this saturated color. Anglicite was discovered in 1783 in an island copper mine off the coast of Wales. It occurs through a process of lead and sulfate oxidation. The mulberry tree produces a bright red fruit often used as a food dye. Mulberry leaves are the sole food source of the silkworm. Fire. Since man discovered his ability to control fire, it has been an integral part of our daily lives, giving us light, heat, and protection. Brazil wood was used for dyeing in medieval Europe. Chips from the interior of the tree create a variety of dark pink colors that can be shifted more yellow by adding vinegar. Madder root as a dye dates back to the times of early Egyptians. When the roots are chopped and ground into powder, it produces a variety of bright red colors. Cochineal was brought to Europe in the 16th century by Spanish conquistadors. The light-fast, rich red color is extracted from the dried husk-like shells of a tiny insect indigenous to warm climates. Ferrous is a compound of different minerals. It exhibits a rich red complexity that serves as a browned plum neutral. This aromatic spice is derived from the roots of the turmeric plant and is closely related to the ginger family. The Osage orange is commonly known as a hedge apple or horse apple with a ruddy green fruit. Underneath the coarse tree bark is a bright reddish-orange heartwood, commonly used for dyeing. Ochre is a natural pigment found throughout the world in various shades and colors. Ochre was one of the pigments used by Paleolithic man to paint on cave walls in France. Air. Whether it is the clean air of a sunny day or the thick cover of darkness, this element is the universal requirement for life. A word derived from Zephyros, the Greek god of the west wind. Zephyr is reminiscent of a cool breeze. Derived from the Latin word micare, mica means to glitter, an appropriate description of the shiny, mirror-like surface of this mineral. Lead is a bluish-gray mineral. It is generally found in ore with either zinc, silver, or copper. Gypsum is a mineral commonly found in many parts of the world. A workhorse component, gypsum may be found in everything from Portland cement to blackboard chalk and soil conditioner. The name logwood dates from 17th century America, when the wood was originally harvested. Logwood dye is extracted from the heartwood and was used in the 1860s to dye the Confederate gray uniforms. A tiny member of the mollusk family, Murex is the source for a highly prized royal purple colored dye. It takes 10,000 mollusks to make 1 gram of dye. Dyeing with lichen dates back to the Bronze Age. Lichen comes in a broad selection of structures and produces a rich assortment of colors. The raw materials of the early dye industry were derived from the elements of our environment, plants, insects, and minerals, and were harvested from forests, beaches, and mountains around the world. In studying the heritage of natural dyes and pigments, we have gained a profound appreciation for the modern science of synthetic color, one that has allowed us to achieve an unlimited color palette while preserving the elements of our natural environment for generations to come. We hope you have enjoyed the colors of the 2009 Ultron Forecast and have gained an even greater appreciation of how the elements of nature inspired the development of our modern color palette.